don't wanna be there for you until they're not there for you. Until they approach that line and their mind pollute. Conclusions of grandeur and fear assumes. No wonder we're broken and bruised, feeling consumed. Despair, tarnished, fucked up and used. Lord, will we ever know? Oh no, I think it might be time for you to go away. Oh no, I think it might be time for you to go away.
Hello, hello, hello.
What up, what up?
Why are we here? We are here much to the chagrin, much like yourselves. First and foremost, welcome to Evolve Network. Myself, Sean Cornell, Mr. Adam Wasden, and Mr. Brian Murphy here today. Everybody's probably social distancing, right? Probably getting tired of it, much like myself. Getting a little stir crazy in the house. So, moving forward, we have plans in place. I know maybe we dropped a little scuttlebutt that we're going to be doing some stuff from our laptops here moving forward, which we are, because it's just a safer thing to do. Why we're here today, hadn't been on for a bit, and we just wanted to let you guys know that we are still here. We do have things in motion to go remote. We've been having those discussions for about a week now, but we wanted to come on and feel free to call in, have some laughs. I'm sure every single person is sick and tired of watching the news and the coronavirus and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to give us a call, 617-702-2542, feel free to chime in. We just want to come discuss some things that maybe have changed in your life that have in ours, that we can try to laugh about instead of getting sick and tired of just hitting the TV going, okay, the same people, the same politicians, the same nonsense, same crap. So that's why we're here. Moving forward, we're going to be distancing a little bit more, but we wanted to come in and say hello, say hi to you guys, see how you doing. Feel free to chime in and give us a buzz.
That's right.
How are you? You're still alive.
Yeah.
We got some distance.
Whoa, bro.
We washed the table. We got gloves. We got some distance.
Yeah, we made sure to Lysol everything down and wipe everything down. We're doing pretty good.
Hey, you're looking a little rough, bud. You okay?
You think so?
Yeah, your eyes are a little red. You know.
Well, dude, that's because I haven't been getting any sleep lately because, shit's all crazy and hectic and I have anxiety about it, so I think it's affecting my sleep. But I want to turn this mic up because I can't hear shit. Hold on 1 second.
Roger that. Got it?
Yeah, so that's probably why I look like, a zombie from The Walking Dead. But that's why.
Now, what are they doing for your work?
They're really getting all crazy. So basically, they've changed everything the way we do things. Like, it's just like, it's hard to explain unless people know what I do for a living. But I think everybody's shit is changing right now. And, it's just like we're living in this world right now where this is allegedly what we're supposed to be doing. And we're all trying to manage it the best way we can. And shit's all crazy right now. And I think it's filling a lot of people with anxiety. I had an interesting experience, actually, the other day at a store. Like, I deliver shit to stores for a living. And one of the stores I go to is, like, a buddy of mine. And we're always laughing and shooting the shit, and everything's always good. He's, like, he's a hilarious guy. We're always laughing and shit, right? And so we were just fucking around, just shooting shit about whatever, just random shit. Had nothing to do with, like, anything controversial or anything. And we're talking, and we look over and we kind of notice, like, there's these, like, two guys. They're sitting there looking at us like, how the fuck are these guys, like, laughing with each other and, like, being happy in public right now while this shit is going on? And something very profound occurred to me at that moment.
You had an aha moment.
I had an aha moment because at that point I realized, like, yo, we can't let this shit make it so, like, laughter is frowned upon and being happy is, like, something wrong. Right?
It's here.
It's here, and it wasn't me that picked up. It wasn't just me that picked up this vibe. Like I was looking at the guy, and he was kind of looking at me like, "What the fuck?" And then they
You're
left.
scanning. You can pay attention to who's paying attention to you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know how you can pick up a vibe from somebody?
You can
Like
feel it.
there's a language
tension.
that gets
Yeah.
spoken,
Yeah.
and they don't have to say it with words. And I asked the dude, I was like, "What happened there? What happened with that?" And the guy was like, "To me, it felt like we were being judged for laughing and like being happy right now." And I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, you know, because to me, I'm not trying to be like Mr. Preacher guy, but it seems like this is the time where we need to be happy and laughing and shit like that. Because if we're all walking around depressed and fucking just shitty to each other all the time, it's gonna make it worse,
See,
dude.
this is where you and I and people, if you watch this, this is going to take a turn into all different types of topics. We can actually like politely debate this because him and I disagreed about this the other day. Like we actually were going to come in and do the show, and I was like, no. Right? I work in a hospital. I'm privy to a couple of different stories. He's like, let's do it. And I'm like, and I understand where he's coming from. It's like, people are gonna go crazy,
Yeah.
and they already
get it.
are. They already are. And then there's the rest of us that aren't gonna go crazy. That actually paid attention 2 to 3 weeks ago when they were like, this is serious. You know, again, I have a little bit more privy knowledge to viruses and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, man, this isn't good. I just remember I kept looking at my wife. I'm like, you know, we can get into the toilet paper fight, the TP fight, the paper towel fight, all that stuff. People hoarding it. And I get it. She's like, we don't need enough. Like we're good. I'm like, no. This is how viruses work. Like, it's not just the disease. It's then the people involved in the disease and the unknown, and then your brain starts to go, oh my God, what if I have to grab everything in the store and punch that woman just to get it?
Right.
And that's what you're seeing right now.
Right.
It's not necessarily the disease, it's the unknown of the disease, which is making the human psyche go completely unwound. And
Dude.
I hate to say it, like, this is horrific times because anyone with a child, you know, if you're a prepper like me, like this one side of me that's like,
I am.
yes, and the other side I'm like, no, I got the kids in me. You know what I mean? Like I would be out all day just hoarding, like I've already been doing for years. So like those people that sit there and go, don't do that, somebody might buy. Well, there's some of us that have been doing this for like 5 to 10 years. So I'm
one
just
of those guys.
Welcome to the party. You just came here now.
Here's the thing. When you do that years ago, when everything was in great demand, nobody was losing their jobs, companies were open, it's fine because the demand is so high, capitalism and all this shit. We can just buy shit and it's going to get replaced. But now at a time like this, I feel like if there's, 3 ravioli cans on the thing and you grab them all, you're kind of an asshole.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like there's a little old lady who needs those raviolis and you're stealing them from her. And
her sons should have gotten her those raviolis.
okay, but maybe she doesn't have a son that's gonna. Maybe she lives by herself and she
I'll
doesn't
give
know
you that.
anything. I'm just saying. I think it's important to be mindful not to grab every single thing off the shelf at a time like this because people need shit. But there's certain things that nobody likes that the taste of and they think that shit's gross. Like there's things like sardines and mackerel that are fucking disgusting, but they're very
Canned good.
they're very disgusting that people don't want, and those are the things that it seems like the stores have a lot of, and those are the things I stock up on because there's a million of them, and nobody fucking likes the way they taste, so nobody gets them. But it's the nutritional value that I'm looking for.
I think I told my wife every time she goes, I'm like, just grab more toilet paper. She's like, we have enough. I go, just get more. Oh, then get batteries, please. We got enough batteries. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm going to be that guy when everybody's rushing for the front of the store with 4 other people with a dump truck out back cutting the generator. Going,
Yeah.
now I have the power to make the food.
You know what's interesting? There's certain shit.
You got to change your mind, people.
That's right.
Like instead of rushing to where the product is, you should rush to where maybe they make the product and go talk to those people.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. And it's interesting because there's a lot of things that you don't realize that you need during times of plenty, during times where there's shit not going wrong.
What have you noticed you miss more than anything? So I had one moment I was like,
I don't know.
I just want to go out and get a frozen ass milkshake.
Oh, you're thinking of shit like that?
And we did.
Okay. I was thinking of more like survival tools. Like there's certain shit like
I got all those.
Q-tips and like shit like, you know what I mean? There's certain little things that when you don't have them, you're fucked or whatever. I don't know if Q-tips is a good example, but there's certain things and
Flints.
you know, but when you need them and you don't have them, like there's a serious problem. And I've been trying to think of these things. I thought of things like rope. Rope.
Oh, hold on. Did you see the Blackbeard rope? I ordered that. It's the rope you can throw in water, then pull on the ground, light it, and lights on fire. But I actually bought the product that you were talking about 2-3 weeks ago. It was the thing that the way you explained it is probably wrong, probably not good PR for the way
you say I'm wrong.
Was you can suck sewers out of a straw and the water's clear.
Yeah.
I bought it.
Yeah.
It
Great.
works.
Yes, the life straw it's called.
Yeah. So like, it's not in my possession, but I did a million video reviews, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I called 2-3 buddies that have. I'm like, hey, does it work? They're like 276 gallons. I think it's good. For
Yeah,
me.
dude, it's good. I have like 3 of
I
them.
was like, well, then I bought it, and then they hooked me with the sale on the side. Like, well, if you bought 4, it was only $10 more. I'm like, you didn't fucking tell me that
Yeah.
before I bought the first
Because
one.
they want you to fuck.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I seen
You're gonna need water.
you're gonna need water, and I seen a video of a guy literally who took like water out of a swamp, like disgusting green water, and he used one of those life straws and drank it, and he was fine. So like this thing like is like the filter in it, I guess, is like so small. It's basically like pure spring water at the other end.
It's
And
like
you-
if you can imagine one of those pool toys that are this long that you be like, whoop,
Yeah,
and
that's
you
what
can
it
blow
is.
water out. That's what it is.
That's what it is. And it basically, like, you could suck piss through this thing. On the other end, it would be God's golden fucking water from a spring from heaven on the other end.
It's a golden piss.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be yellow. It wouldn't be dope. So
I
everyone,
haven't gotten my face mask though.
get a
yet.
spring
So,
straw.
so if you like safishing.com, they have like those face masks where like you could get one that looks like you're robbing a bank, or one that's just clear, or whatever. So if you go on their website, $20 you can get 5 too. They're really good just for covering because of the masks.
Yeah.
Or on the low down.
dude, there's a lot of shit like that, like rope. I thought of like a Swiss Army knife would be a fantastic thing to have during a time
Such
like
a
that.
cheese dick.
It's a cheese
It's
dick.
like our dad's old knife.
Yeah, but can you imagine? It's got like screwdrivers and like scissors and shit. I don't know. It seems like a good tool to have during an apocalypse.
Yeah, but not like that. Also seems like, one step out of Ocean State job lot, production.
Yeah.
Swiss
I
Army.
paid $40 for mine just to let you know.
$40.
I went big,
Yeah,
yeah.
you spent
I got the good
$38.25. Too much, my
It was
friend.
made in China by slaves. It's made
Oddly
of
enough, the
plastic and
Swiss
shit.
outsourced too. Holy shit.
Oh god, I'm not talking shit about the Swiss. They're lovely people.
Well, man, they don't have any issues right now.
They
in
got
their
good
country.
cheese, don't they, Brian?
They have good cheese.
You like Swiss cheese?
Okay, so we're gonna get it. We can get into all types of coronavirus stuff, which everyone's tired of. We can go down that list. You know what? Fuck it. We'll go down that first. But keep you hanging. We're gonna talk about Tiger King tonight because my friend here
I need to hear
has
this.
not watched any of this.
None of it.
And,
I know nothing.
And like I told you in the truck on the way here, like my wife falls asleep to movies all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
And she watched it.
We'll get into this after. We get a call.
Let's have it.
Hello?
Yo.
What's going on?
Hey, Dad. How are you?
Oh, we can get into this.
Well, I heard my cue. I figured I better call in. Somebody
What,
said
Swiss
something about
cheese?
Dad's old shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone said something about, like your dad's old shit. And I said, oh, it must be my cue.
Yeah. So I texted you because I wanted you to call in because I want to talk about cryptocurrency at a time like this, like during this dire
Yeah.
need. Is there any reason why someone would want to invest in cryptocurrency during a time like this?
Well, sure. The dollar's falling apart. I mean, gold, cryptocurrency, other assets, this is the time to invest in those things because when this is all going to end, and I don't know when, I can't give you a date, could be 2, 3, 4 months, but it is all going to end. And when it does, everything's coming back. Even stocks right now, if you've got that kind of money, like a Warren Buffett kind of money, would be a good investment because you can pick up some good deals, but most people don't. So I suggest you buy cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, things like that. Perfect
What do you
time.
got? What do you got?
All-time low.
What's everyone always battles about? Like, what's the best here? Some people say Bitcoin, fuck you. And-
Well, we've gone through this, and you know where I stand.
but for the audience, what do you got?
And it's nothing against Bitcoin, right? I mean, if I could have bought Bitcoin at $10, $50, $100, yeah, I'd be all over it right now, and I'd be telling everybody else to do the same thing. But, it's 6,500 right now, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you buy one, 6,500 buys you one Bitcoin. Okay, that's great. It goes up back to $20,000 where it was. You made money, but you didn't make 20. Well, yeah, you did in this case. You have one Bitcoin. You made 20,000, so you made 13,500. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great profit, but it's not life-changing money, right? It's not going to be like, oh, I'm set for life now. I don't have to go back to work. On the other hand, I have about 70,000 XRP tokens, which is right now about 17 cents, I think, last time I checked today.
It was up to 19. It's been
those just go back to their
spiking.
original spot where they were at almost $4 a couple years ago. I mean, what would I have then? Well, 77 times 4 is what? 14, 28, $280,000. So if it just goes back to its original price from a few years ago, I got $280,000.
You got it was I got it when it was like 97 cents. That one day,
Yeah.
remember that one day it had like a fucking $3 spike. I was
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah. It took
boom.
a big spike. Well, I first started buying it when it was 18 to 20 cents, about where it is right now. Years ago, I started buying it, and I bought 5,000 XRP the first time for $1,000, and I sat on it. 3 months later, it shot to $3.78, practically overnight.
Can I
I
ask
woke
you a
up one
question?
morning, it was $3.78.
Why would somebody
sold it.
want to invest in Bitcoin at a time like this? What is so attractive about that? Where, a lot
Well,
of people
it's
think the
inflation
dollar is
proof.
going to collapse or the dollar's in rough shape. Why is cryptocurrency something that might be a smart investment?
Cryptocurrencies are inflation proof. Here's why. They only print so much of them. They only make so much. The dollar, as you've seen, they can print at will, right? Anytime they need it, they just fire up the printing presses like they did this time when they needed $2 trillion. That causes inflation. It devalues the currency, which means, the same $100 bill you had today, tomorrow will be worth less. You can buy less with it now because it's been inflated and devalued. Cryptocurrency, there's a set amount. They've made so many of each of the coin. They tell you how many has been made, and they give it to you, and so you know. And I realize that anything could happen, and somebody could come out and say, yeah, we know we said that, but assuming that is true, and they don't ever pull a Fed on us and print more, there's going to be a scarcity involved. Right now, about 90% or more of all Bitcoin has been bought up. So when it's all gone, the only way you're going to be able to get Bitcoin is if you buy it from somebody who has Bitcoin.
Now, see, Dad,
there's a
I was
scarcity, like
explaining,
gold,
I was explaining,
gold, right?
I was explaining this to him, and I was also explaining how years ago, like you just brought something up that actually did happen. Do you remember when the fork happened a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
You want to explain to him the fork?
You might the Bitcoin Cash fork?
Yeah.
I'm not really I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a big expert on Bitcoin. And I mean, I understand what happened. Some people felt like Bitcoin was going in a different direction. They didn't like it, so they forked it. And it's been forked several times, actually. Bitcoin SVB, or P, or whatever it is.
Can you
Craig
just
Wright guy,
explain
that
to him
asshole.
what a fork is? I know what it is. I was trying to
Just
explain
people
it to him.
change. People change. They change the code a little bit, make a source code, and if they say, hey, this is the way Bitcoin was supposed to be. The Bitcoin is not what it was supposed to be. Ours is the original Bitcoin. So here, come join. And people start buying that up, and with hopes that is going to be the next thing.
And
I guess,
your
and take it over. I
value-
mean,
your
like I said, I'm not an
value-
expert on forking.
If you have a fork,
But,
if your value, like, so, for example, if something forked, say Bitcoin was 10 grand, they forked it, that's now cut in half.
Yeah.
Without you having any say.
Yeah. Is it possible that while they're printing, like they're already talking about printing up one round of QE or whatever the fuck they call it, where they're just going to inject all this shit into the system.
Quantitative easing.
Yeah, and then they're going to inject another round, and there's also talk of a third round. And you were saying there's like consequences to all that, where the dollar could lose its value. So before that
Well, no,
happens,
not that it could. It will.
It will.
I mean, there's no question about it. I mean,
That's
I think
reality.
we've talked about this before. If you were to, let's say 20 years ago, you had a $100 bill and a $100 gold
I was
piece, and
going
you buried
there.
them both in your
Exactly.
backyard, and you dug them up today, the $100 bill is really still worth just $100, but it's not really worth $100 because with inflation, you can buy less with that $100 than you could 20 years ago. So it's actually worth less than $100. The gold piece now is worth more because gold is worth more today than it was 20 years ago.
because the
So
scarcity, there's only a certain amount of
Scarcity.
gold in the world where you can just
Yeah.
print up more dollar bills that aren't backed by
Exactly. If
anything.
you can just print up money at will, you've got monopoly money, right? I mean,
Right.
it has no value. In fact, if you go to the Federal Reserve's website and you look at what backs up the U.S. dollar, they're not even hiding it. It says right on the website, it's backed up by the good faith of the United States
Right,
government.
and that's what it is. So during a time like this where the dollar is clearly going to be inflation and losing its value and shit like this, it seems like cryptocurrency is the way, because I always hear this, and I'm not sure how true it is, but it doesn't seem like it can get messed with by the government because it's open source. There's no one who owns it. It's just like a bunch of people.
Well, you can't shut it down.
You can't shut it down.
The government really can't shut it down.
Is
I
this
guess they
the-
could try to shut the internet down.
Is this the time to where people are experiencing financial hardships? Maybe that's kind of the thing to maybe get them through, because that is worth more than the dollars that they're going to be buying things at the
Yeah.
grocery store
And
with.
Dad, the
What we're
reason why
waiting
the
on,
reason
what
why
I've been
this
trying to
the reason
explain
why
to
this
people that
came
don't
up.
understand-
this
Hold
came-
on.
We're waiting on. Huh?
Go.
The reason why this came up was because Adam and I on the drive-in, we were discussing a few things that we want to talk about tonight, and one of them was some of the nonsense bill that got shut down, approved, whatever. I was like, "Hey, did you see that there's a digital dollar in there?" And he was like, "What?" I go,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, they wrote it. It's coming."
Yeah. They've already announced it. The Fed is already going to be doing away with fiat dollars. They used, part of the excuse was money is dirty and it's spreading viruses. So China burned all their currency. So they're going to.
They were just waiting for that.
Yeah. So
Well-
but what's really going on is they realize the dollar is worthless. They know it. So what they're going to do is just go, surprise. Yeah, the dollar was worthless. We did away with that. We have this new currency, the digital currency, and it's worth this much money. But then they're just going to be able to create more at will, like Tether does. Tether just makes more of their currency whenever they need it, and that's why I would never invest in Tether. It's ridiculous, almost like the Fed is running that. But it's ridiculous. If you can just print more at will, what value does it have?
Can I ask you?
Like I said, we said before. Yeah.
Okay, well, the whole idea about there's been conspiracy theories about they're going to try to get rid of cash, right? And there's consequences to that. There's a lot of negative things that can happen with that, because now you're in the system, and every transaction that you have, like, because let me preface this. You were saying that, like, you think that cash is going to go away, and you think that digital
dude.
currency is going to be the thing of the future. And what my concern about that is that every single transaction you make is going to be on file. It's going to be seen by the government. It's going to be seen by any corporation who has access to this kind of thing. You're going to be able to be marketed to.
You won't be able to hide it.
Yeah, it's almost like this,
No,
wait a minute.
not
Let me just
really,
finish this. Let me just finish. It's almost like this Orwellian system that gets set up where everything you do gets tracked and traced, and there's a record of everything. And if they wanted to,
first
let's
of all,
wait
it's
a
already
minute.
everything you do.
Wait a minute. Let's say that the government considers you an asshole. Couldn't they just shut off your account and make it just make it so you can't spend money anymore? And just
If you're
now you don't have any
using their
dollars.
coin-
What?
Hold on, let me speak. Hold on. You ask these questions. Then you
I'm
keep turning me over.
trying to get out the whole idea.
I get what you're. I get
sorry.
it. I get what you're saying. Okay, you
Go
don't have
ahead.
to explain it anymore. I understand.
Okay.
Okay, here's why they won't. Now, if you use their digital dollar, it's true they could, right? They have control of that. They don't have control of the other ones. They don't have control of Bitcoin. They don't have control of Ethereum. They don't
okay.
have control of these other ones. They can't shut you down. How can they shut you down? They don't control it.
That's right. But
That's
still,
the difference. Now,
they're,
if you're using their digital dollar, yes, they control that.
it's still Orwellian though, in the sense that there's a record of everything. There's this idea
There's
that
an encrypted record of everything that they can't unencrypt. You know, it's almost impossible to unencrypt this. You know, when you send something, it's a long series of numbers and letters, and that's all anyone sees. You don't know. You know, when they say that a whale moved $10 million worth of Bitcoin, they don't know who moved it. All they see is a series of numbers. It doesn't tell you anything. You'd have to have some kind of supercomputer to unencrypt that. They can't do it. at this
I
point.
think
Now,
I covered
they
some of
may-
this. I think I covered some of this a couple weeks ago too. I told you, like, when you do trade something like your Bitcoin and stuff like that, the way that the system moves, it moves so fast that even though I traded 0.750 Bitcoin, I still have 0.00001112357 point. I have a fart of Bitcoin. I can't press the button quick enough for it to move and just completely be zero.
right. I understand that. I just mean the aspect of not be like when you. All right. So if you buy like a dime bag of weed off of somebody, right?
Let's keep it simple.
Let's keep it simple. You give them $10 and they give you the weed. There's no record of this transaction anywhere.
Well, there's a record of the transaction when you took the money out of the bank. There's that transaction.
Yeah, but
record.
you know what I mean? You cash a check, you get fucking $600 or whatever, and you spend $10 on some weed. There's no record of this transaction. But if the government wanted to prosecute you on some shit and put some shit together and narrate this story that isn't true, but they wanted to make it look true, and they go, look he spent this amount of Bitcoin at this store. He spent
they're
this
not gonna
amount.
know
Wait a
you did.
minute.
You did.
He spent this amount of shit at this store. He went over here and this doesn't this transaction look fishy? Everything's on record now, and now your ability
But
to
it's
be
not on record. See,
prosecuted.
this is what you're missing. You're acting like they have access to these records. They don't.
Why? What do you mean they don't? Of
They
course
don't,
they
because
do. You don't think the
No,
fucking
they don't
government?
all they have access to is a series of garbled numbers and stuff that they can't relate back to. This
the
is what
government-
their main concern is. Hold on. This is
Whoa,
what their main
relax,
concern
bro.
is. You hear them talk. God damn it! Listen to me. This is what their main concern is.
I'm gonna
This is what they
cut
talk
this
about all
off
the
in a
time about how
second.
they want to stop it because of organized crime, right?
Okay.
Because they can't keep an eye on organized crime because things take place, and then they have no way to track it. They're pissed off because they have no way to track it.
What do you
That's
mean they
what they're
have no
trying
way
to
to
shut it
track
down
it?
for.
Wait a minute. Have you ever heard of Edward Snowden? Do you know who that is?
Yes,
Of course,
I know who
right?
Edward Snowden is.
Well, Edward Snowden was saying, if you believe him, he was working in an NSA place where the government can see. Like, let's say you're sending a text message, and someone pisses you off, and you say, "Go fuck yourself, bitch," but then you delete it and you say, "I love you. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't want to fight." The government has a record of you saying, "Go fuck yourself, bitch," and you deleted that text. It can see
Absolutely.
every single action that's happening on your cell phone, but they can't see cryptocurrency transactions on your cell phone. That makes sense to you?
You're not listening to me, obviously.
What?
All they can see is a series of jarbled numbers and letters. They don't know what
Dude,
that means. They don't know
cut
how
it
much
out.
or anything.
Cut it out.
Wrap
bro.
it up. Wrap
Wrap it up. This is like that Dave Chappelle bit. Wrap it up, bro.
Wrap it up, B.
Wrap it up.
Well, you keep going around in a circle. I keep telling you they can't see it. All they can see is a series of numbers
I
and
just
letters.
don't think that's true.
No, I'm saying we can continue this conversation moving forward another time. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. On to the next caller. I appreciate you, Dad. I'm not trying to invalidate you. You're the best. I'm just
Well,
I'm just
I don't know.
busting
We
your
keep
balls.
going around in circles. You keep saying they can see it. I say they can't. You say they can't.
I think they
I say
can.
can't.
I just do. I think they can, and I think aliens exist. But this is apart from the conversation that we're having, and I appreciate you, dude. I'm not trying to invalidate. I'm just trying to get good content out to fucking
Dumb
bust
city.
your balls.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And play
But we
devil's
were getting
advocate.
back to cryptocurrency in itself. Yeah, it's a good investment right now. I really truly believe it. It's an
I agree.
all-time low. It's not going to be this way forever.
I agree.
And now's a good time.
That's the point
So-
I was trying to get to. And thank
But
you.
here's one more thing. Let me leave you this one more
ahead.
thing before we go. I was going to say this, and you interrupted me. I never got it out.
Sorry.
We only have probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 15% of adoption right now. Most of the world doesn't even understand what this is, how it works, how to use it, anything. Once this becomes mass adoptive, where most of the people in the world are using it, that's when the price is going to start going up, right? Because then you're going to have a use case, you're going to have more adoption of it, the price is going to go up. So we're early pioneers right now. Down the road, this is going to be big. And if you're getting in early and you're buying early, you're going to profit. You really are.
You see, you think it's
So-
a good investment is basically what you're saying.
Huh?
You think cryptocurrency is a good investment right now, where the dollar's going down, and cryptocurrency is
Yes, of course.
more of a safe
And I
investment.
think gold and silver are too. Platinum, all precious metals, and cryptocurrency are both good investments right now.
All right, bro.
So-
That's fantastic to hear. So,
All right, talk to you later.
all right. I don't. Sorry.
I am
I love
actually,
you, Dad. You're the best.
I am actually interested.
I'm not trying to be that guy.
I am interested in the crypto convo, but I just didn't.
I know what you're saying. Listen, all right.
Other things, real quick.
Yeah.
If you have like a thought that comes to mind,
Yeah.
when I throw this out, just a thought that comes that
Okay.
has changed with all this nonsense that has happened.
Yeah.
So the coronavirus has changed everybody's life. As far as how has it affected your life? As far as takeout dinner, I have a lot of these, so be quick.
The only thing I know about that is I went to the Chateau in Brockton. I'm not sure if you know where that is. And
Yeah, I get around.
it was an interesting experience, but it tastes about the same, and I don't have any complaints. What do you got?
How many assholes were there that shouldn't have
None.
been?
There was none. And I had this weird, I just want to say this. I had this weird, bizarre, like awkward experience with the woman at the front. She was trying to hand it to me. And before I got in there, I see her like putting on like Purell all over her hands. I'm like, ah! And she's like wearing a mask and shit. And I get in there, and she doesn't have any gloves on or anything like that. She's handing me the bag, and for whatever reason, our like fingers got tangled up while she was handing me the bag, and it was like this weird war of like, are you gonna let it go? Am I gonna pick it up? Like,
Do
what?
you mean to tell me that you are a little freaked out that you went to an establishment and a woman very politely lotioned her hands before she had a social interaction with you,
No,
and
that's
you got
not-
freaked out by
No,
it?
that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, because I'm just wondering. Because it usually doesn't happen.
No, okay. So there's these two loops on this bag, okay? And while I was grabbing, here's her fingers and here's mine, and I didn't grab like we didn't like this, and there was this weird thing of like Do you got it? Like, should I let go? Like, and we were like,
No, hold
looking
on.
at-
Do the finger. Show me the
yeah,
finger.
we were like looking at each other, like, I don't know. Do you have it? Like, and it was just this weird interaction. And I apologized as I left. I was like, listen, that was my fault. I apologize.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our first on air scissor fight. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
and that was my fault. And if you're watching, lady, which you're definitely not, I apologize.
All right. Coronavirus has changed your life with work. How?
I want you to say some shit.
I will. I'll
was the
answer
guy
all. I'll
talking.
hand you the phone. I'll answer all these.
Coronavirus has affected my work. Just the anxiety that I see in people's vibes and the anxiety I see on people's faces is just unparalleled to anything I've ever seen before in my life. People are just scared shitless of each other, and people are afraid, and I understand, and it's just a bizarre environment. I almost try to like pull myself out of it and look at it like it's not happening to me, and just like look at it like almost like a video camera, looking at the situation. And
This is the point where Steve Harvey would have cut him off from fucking Family Feud for the long ass answer when I
sorry.
just said a quick answer. I mean,
Okay,
I'm just saying, you don't even have a mustache. You get the beard going. I mean, he's got the nice teeth. You don't. Just a quick answer.
Okay,
That's it.
Well, that's my answer. Go ahead.
Okay.
Be-
Kids school. You don't have kids.
no, dude, I want you to answer that now.
How has it affected work?
Yeah.
It has affected my work greatly because I have had to go and actually get my IT password rectified 4 times now, and I have to go back there again tomorrow because the whole IT system has crashed at work. So that's how it's affected me. So I have to keep going into a petri dish every day just to see if I can get stuff figured out.
I'm sorry.
Well, what I will tell you is I actually don't have to go in the hospital. I sit outside because of the Wi-Fi attacks. I just sit in my truck.
Okay, so it's affected you like that.
Captain Head over here.
This kid loves
who
it.
just keeps, yeah.
You're home all the time.
Takeout, we've only gotten takeout a couple times, and I've just elbow bumped the people and like try to stay home. Kids' school, I got kids, they're driving us crazy. My wife wants to kill me and them, me more than them, because we have like 2 more months to go. Layoffs.
I think I'm getting laid off.
I have a couple friends of mine who work in the industry, and I may have heard this on a different radio station on the way in here, where someone was asked, well, how does that affect the construction industry? Newsflash. Your construction industry, those business owners are being complete lion sacks of you-know-what. The reason why is, like, everybody that works in unions and stuff like that builds everything in and around the city of Boston, you work in teams. You have a licensed person and an apprentice. So guess what? You guys are passing stuff all day long, and then you're going home, passing stuff all day long, coming back in, passing stuff all day long. No, that's not essential work. That's just because those big government contract people don't want to lose money on their construction project because they're selfish, greedy pieces of crap. You already knew that.
Okay.
Mandatory work schedules. Do you have one or no?
What does that mean?
Some people now can't go in like 7 to 4. Now it's like they can only work
Nah,
three
didn't
days a
affect
week.
that at all.
No, it didn't affect that at all. Travel. Do you have any travel plans that were coming up?
Well, I travel for work, and I've noticed that it's made it a lot better. There's not a lot of
for
traffic
you, right? Yeah,
around.
it's open
Shit.
highways, man.
So it's just.
I was
all
here
that.
for boss, right?
You know what I mean?
He
Look at
probably
this
heard
kid
it.
flipping out about that.
Sports. There's no sports.
Dude, there is sports. Can I tell you about something?
Mr. Allen is behind us. He'll be discussing that coming up. Moving
Okay,
forward.
you guarantee you're not going to talk about this, so
yeah.
I feel okay. Has anybody seen wrestling since this
Yep.
whole shit?
With no fans,
It's fucking ridiculous.
it's awesome. Or
Like-
down.
So have you seen like Monday Night Raw and all this kind of shit where the guy in the spandex picks the guy up and he throws him, and usually he throws his hands in the air and the whole crowd goes wild? Well, now he's throwing him down on the ground and he's throwing his hands, and they're like, yeah, and it's almost like he's been trained to expect this like response, but he doesn't get that response. It's just silence. So he throws him on the ground.
Oh yeah, they definitely act that out. Like
He needs a
It's
harumph.
silence.
don't have it there.
It's the worst thing to. It's
He needs a harumph.
it's embarrassing. It really is. It's like, dude, take those spandex off, bro.
This is such a bad movie reference, Brian.
I'm sorry.
Harumph.
Games in front of fans.
What?
Fans. That's why it'll be so weird if they play games with.
Yeah, man. You know, like football. What's football? Imagine the Super Bowl with no crowd.
Well, did you see
What's that going to be like?
Now they're thinking about having players play video games online, so they talk about. I was like, I'd watch that.
You're gonna have to.
It's nothing else.
Two ants race at this point.
All right, so sports is a no-go. Billy will get into that. Movie theaters getting shut down.
What?
We're getting shut down. Movie theaters. Now
Yeah,
the
that's
movies that
unfortunate.
you're supposed to go in the theater are now going to be on your TV.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
No gym. Stress relief. You had
That
discussed
is a huge problem for me. because
Better pick up those weights and
yeah,
like
dude.
running. I actually watched that finally. The Netflix lightweight baby. Holy shit!
Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
He's the greatest bodybuilder of all time. We got a call.
Go ahead, B. What's up?
So how's that isolation going for you?
Oh, jeez. Hey, what's up, Sarah? Isolation's going good for me. It's my family member of mine. She's got potty mouth. She can maybe elaborate on what might be happening in the Boston school systems right now.
Can't comment on that.
Okay.
All I can comment on is my son got his Chromebook. He's online. He's learning. And then I have the other one who's in a private school that's online 6 hours a day.
Yeah, Shan just got the kids their Chromebook, and now it's funny. You know, she was yelling at me last couple of days. She's like, "You're not helping. You're downstairs watching TV." I'm like, "It's quiet down here." I'm like, everybody's
Yeah, they're
upstairs
online.
yelling and screaming. Now that they have their Chromebook, they're like yelling at their friend, Tommy, or their
wait.
cousin, Tommy, you weren't online. I'm like, I'm gonna take those things and fucking skull
Oh,
fuck
Sean,
the shit
wait
out of
for
them.
it. Joe's home, too.
Really? Yeah, they evicted him, huh?
Live. Joe, how's your online studying going? Laying in bed, playing PS4.
Being a college loser. Tell me, give him his tag name so I can light him up.
This is
because
like a dream come true for kids like that.
Nobody's doing it.
What, Ma? You mean I can sit around and play video games and that's awesome right
Yeah,
now?
and that's it. And now they can help with laundry. What are you guys doing, Sarah?
Let me see. I've laundered. I've cooked. It's easier to go to work.
Are you bored being at home?
No, I'm stressed. It's easier to go to work.
It kind of is, isn't it?
It is.
Do you like your job?
I love my job.
And you kind of feel like being away from it's kind of a toll on you. Is that
yeah,
accurate?
because now I really understand what it was.
Right.
In this case, no, I do. I truly do love my job, and I am going to give a shout out there to the Boston Public Schools because they really, really have done these kids well. They have gotten Chromebooks to kids. Teachers have reached out, have gotten the kids online. Like, I have to say our district has done a wonderful job. And I mean that. Sean, you know me.
Yep.
Would I be lying?
No, you'd be the first person to tell people where they can go
I
take
would
a
be.
shit and then pick it up.
Boston Public Schools, when I tell you, is doing a phenomenal job given our situation. Phenomenal.
What about Jim? Is he working a lot of hours?
Oh, yeah, he's in the house today. I have to check this temperature. I said, you better not feel that temperature check because I don't want you home.
Right. Yeah, my boss he works on a EMT vehicle and half their staff already has the virus. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, those guys are out there a lot more. I mean, the firefighters are exposed, but I personally think the police and EMS, and then more so doctors, nurses, they're the ones who are being threatened by this.
They're around it all the time.
Yeah, I mean half my appointments have already been canceled. Actually, most of my
They're
appointments.
around illness all the time, but
Yeah.
not this kind of an illness.
Yeah, I had a guy I actually yelled at the Brockton VA. I walked in and I think I blew my right knee out. It's still swollen as shit. And he's got a boxing mask, and I was like, "Can I get a mask?" And I had gloves on already. You know, that was my job in the Marine Corps, whatever. Like, I know decon, chemical weapons. I'm like, all right, let me be safe. I go, let me get a mask. And he was like, nope. I go, what? He was like, that's only for the doctors. I go, how do you know I don't have anything? He's like, well, you're not coughing. I go, you're not a scientist. You like
I know, but they
me having
honestly,
one
Sean,
on though could protect them. Like, do you understand that, buddy? He was
they
like,
have to save them for up until I think yesterday. Doctors and nurses were wiping them with alcohol swabs. Like, they weren't getting replacements. They are now, but they weren't before now.
yeah, it's gonna keep getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just is.
And you have a lot of nurses in your family.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's how I know, and I also work in a hospital, so like I've done a little bit of due diligence and asked those questions, like, hey, and it's like, yeah, you kind of already knew some of this stuff with your background, like stay home. I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool, sounds good.
So on the flip side, how are my little babies doing?
Driving their mother nuts.
No, you're homeschooling them now, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me backtrack. They're home, but like, we just got an email the other day. Like, they kind of were trying to fluff around. Like, okay, well they'll be back in May, and now they're like, we might have to put some stuff in place for not back in May. Like, they have no clue.
But you have physical education down, right? Because I saw, stop. Hold on. Why is my neighbor's name coming into my head? It's not my neighbor.
Not Martin.
No, yeah. His son's name, and it's Oren, is coming into my head, and it shouldn't be Oren.
Logan?
Nora and Logan.
Nora, yeah.
I saw Logan doing 10 shots, 10 pucks.
Oh, yeah,
God
yeah,
bless
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I said, Colin, you should do this. He goes, I'm napping.
No sports. Sports shut down. So I'm sure you know.
I'm napping.
You know, when did you guys get Joe? So all right. So he left college. He lives in a different state.
Yeah, he's down at Myrtle Beach, but he was on spring break in Florida, and he called me and he goes, shit's getting real. I go, yep.
Yeah, it is.
He goes, what should I do? I said, as soon as spring break has come over, you go back to your house, you pack up like you're coming home for me, and come home.
Well, let me ask you some questions. I was just asking Adam some of these. Now that you're home, freaking out, there's no sports, there's no TV, there's no school. What do you do to occupy your time other than laundry?
Oh, so we have the Game of Life now, the Life board game, and I'm teaching my boys how expensive it is to have kids.
Why? My co-host just said I love that game. Why?
I might be full of shit.
Because, like, you start off as a bachelor, and then all of a sudden you get married. Woohoo! You get like $500. Oh, then you have a kid on the way. Oh, that costs you $1,000. Oh, now you got another kid. Oh, that costs you another $1,000.
You understand
you broke
life.
a leg.
Yeah.
It
That
teaches
costs
you
you
lessons.
$2,000.
Yeah. Then you have a wife that tells you to empty the wallet, and then you have
Right.
half of the $1,000
Take the
you thought
trash
you
out.
had.
You change the oil in
There's
your car.
nothing
We don't have
left.
enough money.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you can't get a hug half the time.
That's right.
So my boys have already realized, yep, not getting married, not having kids. Too expensive?
Oh God, that's terrible.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I guess.
Not really.
Well, don't you want your kids to grow up and get married and shit? You know, I don't mean to say and shit, but I just
Yeah.
mean like really, like, don't you want your kids to grow up and like live the life?
I think
like, have
you
a
do.
Family and have kids and like shit.
And then when that happens, you go, I didn't like his girlfriend or his girlfriend's mother. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. They didn't
Well,
want
that's
to chip.
perspective,
They didn't
though.
want to chip in for 50% for the
Yeah,
family
that's
dinner.
all.
They didn't want to fuck them. And then that
I
happens.
just want them to be happy.
Right. Do you think that marriage and that kind of thing leads to happiness? I mean, honestly.
I'm so glad
Well,
Sarah
it-
called that. I love
Well,
it.
it is. It is.
Yes and no.
Like 2 months out of the 12.
Like all together. But okay, so like do you need a contract from like the government to like prove that you love each other? Like that's the whole thing about marriage. That's what that is, isn't it? It's a contract that you have that the government endorses and like now we're in love. The government put this stamp on it. Here we go. Like is
No.
is there something to that? Like do you need the government to give you permission to be in love?
No, you don't. And all those people that thought you did, guess what? You're going to be in divorce court in a month.
Right. And now you're fucked. Oh, excuse my language if you don't like that kind of thing. But
Well, I'm just saying, you're going to be in
I
divorce
understand.
court. Like, you were either in love to begin with, and the paper means nothing.
Right.
You're just going about your life, loving your life, and that's what life should be.
right. And now you-
Just
and
skipping
now
about.
You never thought I would call in, did you?
I'm
Sean?
so glad you did, because this is the type of listen. This is the type of shit I like to get people talking about real stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you can fucking laugh. You know what I mean? Everybody's miserable right now. I'm tired of people being miserable. I want to bring a smile to people's faces.
Let's talk about whether marriage is a good idea or not.
Hey, you wanted to go down the road, buddy. Have
I
at
do,
it.
I do, because there's a lot of ideas. Have you ever seen like these people that are like so
Mind you, you've never been married.
No, but I've seen these people. I've witnessed it. I've seen these people that are so in love. They're lovebirds their whole life. They're so everything. And then it seems like right when they have this contract that says they need to be in love now, everything goes
It's
sideways.
not the contract, bro. You know what it is? It's when it's winter one time and you have one blanket and nobody did fucking laundry and one of you likes to stick the leg out the side because I do all the time. And then you're fucking leg fighting over some shit and you wake up and next thing you know, normally if you had a cup of coffee all the time, your wife is like, fend for yourself, motherfucker, because I did last night.
What? No,
That's
no.
marriage.
Okay, now,
Okay?
if
you never forget, and anybody that says, any married couples that says that they don't forget some stupid, minuscule bullshit detail from 25 fucking years ago
Yeah.
that means nothing just to gain an edge over the fight is a lying asshole.
Now, is that
That's
marriage?
not,
ahead.
Sean, that's not just marriage. That's
Right,
just
that's where I was
called
going. Thank
commitment.
you.
Like, you can have a commitment with somebody and you don't need that piece of paper. What makes it easier in these times when you're quarantined, if you don't have that piece of paper, you just pack your shit and go. If you got that piece of paper, you got to go to court.
I feel like it's nice to have that freedom where you can just pack your shit and go, where you're not tied to this person.
Right.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people are in a situation where they look at their life and they look at the situation they're in and they would pack their shit and go, had it not be for this piece of paper that they're in a contract with this person, that the government demands certain things out of this contract. And I don't know if that's healthy for a relationship. I think once the contract
Probably not.
once the contract gets involved, it's like now I have to be in love. Now I have to like. It's so much more authentic when you don't have the contract and it's an open thing where everybody can do whatever they want and it's freedom. There's freedom in that.
Now you tell me which woman doesn't want the contract.
Well, it is. It is freedom, and I believe in freedom. But for my own personal life, I like the fact that there's a contract. You can't just pack up and go.
Listen, there's pros and cons. I'm not saying like there's no pros. I'm just saying that
That's a pro for her.
that is a pro, and it's a pro for a lot of guys, you know. But there's a lot of cons to marriage. There's a lot of cons to that contract, and that's all I'm saying. I think there's a lot of people that bitch about that. There's a lot of people that have a lot of problems with this contract because a lot of people are together just because of the contract because it's so expensive to get a divorce that they're together just because they don't have the money to get apart.
Let me ask you a question. Imagine being the judge, right? You're sitting there and you get the first fucking quarantine case divorce up for your docket. You're like, Are you shitting me? I just had to sit at home. My wife for fucking 52 months. You're out of your goddamn
She farts.
mind.
She burps.
She cooks like shit.
She overcooked the goddamn meatball
And
sub.
the last time she gave me a hand job, it was rough. It tasted like she had a piece of beef jerky rolled around her fucking ribs.
Yeah, and these are all the things that now you're in the contract. The beef jerky is in that contract.
Can't go, bro. Got to get
Well, you
that
can
rough
always
in.
end a contract too. It just
But it's
there's
expensive.
Yeah, it's
a
called
little bit-
it's called a murder trial.
there's a little bit more
Oh,
red
God.
tape with it.
But it's
Like my husband says all the time, I love her to death, but it is cheaper to keep her.
that's the situation you find yourself in marriage, where if you're just in a relationship with someone and that's your boyfriend and your girlfriend, and shit, you know, like you can just there's consequences. I'm just saying there's pros and cons. That's all I'm saying. to
There are.
marriage,
I hear you.
you know.
Hey,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with marriage. I'm just saying it's
you're
complicated.
talking to two married people. There are definite pros to marriage. There are cons. We both know a lot of them very well.
You know what should be in the contract?
Yes,
Is that the
family.
family, there should be certain things that should be in the contract of marriage, not just to stay together. The idea of you need to stay together to death do you part, but maybe, the people have to provide a loving life for their children. There's certain things
I
that should be in this contract.
Or
that-
like if I proved your narcissistic grandmother who's always up my ass wrong at least 3 times politely, I get to accidentally knock over the green fucking candy bowl that's been sitting there with dust on it for 45 fucking years. That'll probably
Right.
kill me anyway. Just let me accidentally do that. I just want to do that.
That's a prenup. You
I don't
need
think
a
it's a lot to
prenup.
ask for.
You need the green bean prenup. Is what you need.
I agree with
Our
your
Gertrude's
friend there.
candies.
I think
God
that
damn it.
death till you part should really come out of that.
You
It
think
should
so?
really come out of that.
Can I just play devil's advocate?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of getting married, though, is you find your soulmate, right? And you found this person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So if you're gonna remove,
Which I did.
you okay, and you're gonna remove the death till you do you part thing, and now it's like, well, wait. Now it causes questions within the relationship. It's like, well, wait, is it death to you part? Is there certain things going on here where we're not?
Do I have to do
it
the
causes
death
questions.
for us apart?
Right. It causes
No.
questions in the relationship. I'm just
It
saying,
doesn't.
in this
it
legally
doesn't.
binding
it
thing.
doesn't.
And you don't
It
think it does?
doesn't
Why?
it doesn't cause a question
Why?
because if that's really your soulmate, it doesn't need to be said. It's understood.
That's fantastic. I love that answer. You don't need the government to stamp that till death do you part. You just have an agreement within between the two of you, is what you're saying?
It's understood.
It's understood.
If it's really your soulmate, it's understood.
That's a great answer.
I love that. I just look at it. I'll kill you. We're good? Right. All right. good.
Hence why I
Idea.
have a soulmate.
And that's wonderful that you have a soulmate. The question is just like, do you need the government involved in this? Do you need some politician to stamp their, or some bureaucrat to stamp their approval on your relationship to prove that you're in love? Or do you and your partner have a relationship where you can decide that within yourselves?
No, I think you have the answer already in play, which is why you have court systems, because people can't get along.
No, I'll be honest. The only reason why we went through the whole rigmarole was because it's like that's what we were supposed to do. You're
Right.
supposed to have the big wedding, and
Right.
you're supposed to profess your faith in front of everybody. Well,
Well,
I
there's
don't
good
think
things
we've
to
been
that.
back to church since, except for baptisms, communions, funerals,
and
weddings.
and fights,
Yeah.
which were all covered in the above statement.
Right? But it's like,
Do you need the government involved? Do you need the government to stamp their approval on this relationship? That's all I'm asking.
no,
No?
no,
And I agree with you. I don't think you do.
no. Because it's your personal relationship, regardless of whether it's a man and a woman, 2 women, 2 men,
Whatever.
3 people. It's
To a stuffed animal.
It's your relationship.
Thank you.
It's-
I agree.
Your love.
What do you got going on this week, other than chilling?
I'm quarantined. How about you?
Well, other than here, same thing. We've been sitting at home, not doing nothing. You know, just.
We just celebrated Colin's 17th birthday.
Oh, nice. What did you guys do? Throw cake at him from 8 feet away?
Yeah, we couldn't really do too much. We actually, got the cake, put the candles in it, and Sean, you'll love this one. Joe's at the kitchen table. I go, Johnny, go get Colin. Johnny goes, okay. And he goes, Colin, come on. We're blowing out your candles. But by the way, you can't blow on it because you might have coronavirus. So you got to shake them out. Yep, that's Johnny.
Never a dull
Just
moment.
gotta fan it off. Because nobody else will be able to eat that cake if you blow on it.
All right, well, you guys home for the next couple weeks? Just gotta hit you up tomorrow, see what's going on.
Oh, God, yeah, we're home forever.
All right, I'll hit you up tomorrow. Thank you for calling in. You need to call in more often. Have
Yeah,
the,
that was fantastic.
have the boys call. Have the college boy come in. He can handle the heat.
I don't think you want his opinion on the government.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
From the way you just said that, it sounds like I do, because I probably agree with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the government shouldn't stamp your approval.
Yes.
Not at all.
Good. Thank you.
All right.
On nothing except your check. Bye. Love you guys.
You're the
Love you.
best.
I'll hit you up
Thank you.
tomorrow. Bye. Family. She don't pull.
Who
no
is that?
punches. Family. Cousin of mine. She
Wonderful.
Works for, Boston.
Does she come to Thanksgiving? I should, whatever.
Sarah's like the black sheep, like me.
Okay.
She's yeah. We get along.
Okay.
We see eye to eye because when we don't like something, we're like, I don't think I kind of, and within our mouth.
I love that. I love that. You guys are the guys that say, yeah, but.
Yeah, and I'll stand over here.
And you're over here talking to each other
Man.
while everyone's talking about whatever they're talking about. I love those people. I have not
A
like
couple
that.
of things before we wrap up. Billy
Yeah.
gets into some sports.
Yep.
It's a condensed show. Again, we're probably going to be going remote here in the next couple weeks.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you don't see from me, bug this guy as well because we put some stuff in place, laptops and
Yeah.
cameras, get some things rolling.
That's right.
Couple of things, close it out. Oh God,
Tiger King.
Why-
Did we talk about that?
Tiger King. Okay,
I feel like because I haven't
All
heard
right.
about this
so
yet.
he hasn't watched the Tiger King. I don't know if Billy has. I don't know, Brian. Brian, have you watched it? No, you haven't watched it.
Haven't.
I have
Billy?
known nothing about
Billy
this.
has.
really,
Okay.
except for memes.
So put it in perspective. My wife doesn't like to watch movies with me because she has just doesn't have the attention span to sit there for like 2 hours. Where I'll be like, yeah, we watched every episode until like 3 a.m, and she was still sitting there watching with me. I was like, what are you doing awake? She was like, I can't take my eyes off this. So if you know what
What is
Tiger
this?
King is, it's a Netflix special, and it's based off of. First way I saw it was Daryl Darko from
Fantastic
Black Cat Tattoo.
artist.
Yes. And he said, you're not going to be able to take your eyes off this. He's an animal lover. I'm like, okay, cool. It's about tigers, whatever. It's about this, tiger, resort in Florida. We went to one when I went to Disney. Took the kids there a couple years ago.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, I seen that.
Anyways, this
That's
guy made a
fantastic.
rap video. Well, it's like a country/rap video. You can't kind of make out what it is. I'm like, all right, this is a train wreck. Gotta watch. Long story short, I'll just be brief. If you do watch this, you will entertain a story of a gentleman who is gay. Nothing wrong with that. Married to multiple men at the same time.
Yeah.
Owns a big cat rescue. Has a legal battle with another big cat rescue. That woman's husband went missing, and there's no bones that can be found anywhere. And this individual also ran for president. Had employees that lost their arms by getting eaten off by tigers. He actually won some of his counties, too.
Are we spoiling alert any of this for fans?
I'm going to leave it there. That's just the basis. If
Okay.
you can imagine someone that could have employees that had their arms ripped off, ran for president, and they're going to court case with someone whose husband's missing and is dead and murdered, you're going to get sucked in.
Well,
It's,
all I know is I haven't seen shit about it. Like, I never seen the show, but I've
Just
seen
watch.
memes, and I've seen people, like, flipping out about it on the internet. And it makes me want to watch it, but at the same time, I don't.
And I think Lucky Cat Tattoo already has a picture
about
that
it.
if somebody wants half man, half cat on their chest, they'll probably gladly
Daryl Darko, hit him up.
donate it on there.
He's the
Listen,
best.
thank you for watching. We just wanted to come on and say hello, wipe the dust down,
Yeah,
see
man.
what's going on. We're just supported you guys, and we are going to be going remote here
Yeah.
in this next week probably.
And I do want to mention, Howie Byrne has an amazing song out right now. Life Worth Living, I believe it's called. Oh no, I'm sorry. That is a dope song, but Bad Times. They like filmed this thing,
bad times.
and it's perfect for what's happening right now. It completely represents what that is. So anybody who's watching who's not familiar with Howie Byrne, watch that. That's a fantastic thing. I think they're on iTunes, I believe.
And Spotify.
Spotify. Someone posted Howie Byrne, Bad Times. Listen to that. It completely, totally represents.
Joey
what's happening
Stack's also putting out new music.
Yep.
Kevin Morrissey has been putting out some bass solo tutorials and stuff like
Those
that.
are
So
fantastic too.
people, times are changing. You're going to see a lot more people going remote. We're going to be some of those people as well. Just try to be safe. I
That's
know
right.
we're here tonight, but like we wanted to just say that to you without you getting a text. So we'll be here going remote moving forward, which
Next
will
week.
have nothing but opportunities for guests because everybody's home.
That's right.
Get your laptop up
Feel
and running.
free.
We'd love to have you on.
That's right.
Got anything?
No, just tune into Howie Byrne. Tune into our show next week. I think we're going to be going on live next Tuesday, hopefully with the laptops. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Go watch Tiger King, and I think the Chinese death numbers are wrong. Okay,
How dare you say that?
I'm just saying it.
Don't ever say that.
Pay attention, Evolve Network. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys are the best.
Be safe. Quarantine as needed.
Everybody's the best. I love everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.
Everybody's the best.